So, welcome on board, Sharvanth. Thank you so much for being here, and I am excited for this.
Hello, everybody. This is Sharvanth here from Sunshine Systems Engineering Class 10. It's a wonderful honor for me to be a part of this event. And thanks a lot to Chinmay for giving this opportunity. I hope to talk a lot today and, explore a lot of questions and give answers to it. So let's just go right into it.
Perfect, perfect. So, Sharvanth, actually, I saw you first on LinkedIn, and I clicked onto your profile, and there was 14-year-old author, and it just blew my mind because I think when I was 14, I think I was watching Doraemon or Shinchan or stuff like that, and you are here like doing like incredible things. It just inspired me, and I just want you to share your journey, like from getting into the habit of reading and writing to whatever you have achieved so far. Just tell us about your journey.
Okay. So my journey is quite interesting and quite fun at the same time. So it all started when I was like 7 years old. So at that time, as a really, really young kid, one of my father's friends, they said they were coming over. As 7-year-old kid, I expected them to have, chocolates, gifts, etc. But when they came home, all they had were like two books. At that time, I wasn't really into books. I wasn't really interested into books. And as I said before, I was looking forward to chocolates and gifts. But at that time, I got those books and I never looked into it. A few months had passed since then. I didn't read those books and I just kept them on off the table, of course. And, a few months had passed by since. So one day, after school, I was watching television and then I noticed that book right there on the shelf. I was like, why shouldn't I go and try this out? It's just like out there for no reason. So I turned off the television. I went towards the book. I picked it up and I started reading. So that spark, that had got me into the field of reading, and I really, really look back towards it. So the first page was really interesting. I read the next page. It was also interesting. And, the third page was also interesting. And, that's how I got into that book. That book was about, Paramveer Chakra, which is the highest honor in the army of India. So it talked about the journeys of various inspirational army individuals. And I was really into that book. So that's how I got into the field of reading. And my mother saw that I was interested in reading. So she got me a lending library. In that learning library, I started exploring lots of genres, lots of books, and about 5 to 7 years have passed since then, and I've currently read over 400 books in the course of 7 to 8 years. That's really really look back to it. That's really really inspiring for myself to read more and to inspire others to read more as well. That's one thing. And how I got into writing was during the period of lockdown when everybody was in Asia. They had lots of time to like lots of time and they had nothing to do. So I was just like sitting on my chair one day and I noticed a random diary of 2020. I started writing diaries when I was, from 2021. So 2020 diary was just hanging out there with no apparent reason. That's another spark that inspired me to start writing. So I thought like when these authors can write these big of books, why shouldn't I come up with my own characters and publish a book as well? So that's how I started penning down my thoughts into that diary. And, that's how I got into the field of writing. So a few years have passed and my father gave me the idea to publish them. So, that's a brief just about my journey reading, how I got into writing. After a few years of writing, I published my book with the help of my father. So that's how, about my journey and of course, right.
Perfect, perfect. And at what year did you publish your first book?
I was like 11 years old, 10 to 11, I think. Yeah.
Okay, okay, perfect. And like it's great. And I feel that I started reading like from lockdown. Okay. That before that I was not at all reading any kind of books, no interest, zero interest. But the day I started picking up books, I can't express how incredible and like crazy things book can do in your life. It can completely change your
Exactly.
perspective, right? When you
Right.
start reading, like you feel like there is like someone who is telling you, who is prompting you here, and it just
Mm,
programs your subconscious mind to do like a
that's
lot of
true.
things. Yeah. And talking about writing skill, I posted this a few days ago on LinkedIn only. If there is one skill, like I would trade all my skills, everything for this one skill, and that is the skill of writing effectively. because it is the slowest form of like expressing your own thoughts and feelings. And I think the writing really helps, helps you like feel light. It just releases every thing, and it's make your mind so clear. Yeah, but more importantly, just what are the some life lessons that you have learned from the books? Like, what are those 4 to 5 like key life lessons like that you learned from books?
Okay. So, reading is such an important skill. Not only it helps you program your brain, as you said earlier, it helps you connect with it. It also is really, really important when it comes to other aspects as well. So, now as I'm talking, I was able to improve my communication skills because of books. Because a few years back, if you had seen me talk to someone in English, I wouldn't be that fluent. But after I started reading lots of books with lots of characters involved in it and lots of dialogues in it, I had started to modify my way of speech into such a way that I'm fluent in it. At the same time, I'm really, really good at it. So I was able to increase my communication skills with the help of books, of course. And even my public speaking skills were improved because back in that day, I still remember my first ever speech. I gave my first ever speech in half break. At that time, I was super nervous. Because that was the first time I was giving a speech to someone. At that time, I lacked eye contact. I only gave eye contact to only a few people while I didn't give eye contact to others. And, I also stuttered a bit, here and there. So from then I've been learning and learning. And books have been a really, really, important guide to me for communication and speaking skills. So I'm able to be this fluent when I'm communicating all thanks to books. And also, my writing skills are improved because of my reading skills. Because without the 7 years of experience that I've had with reading, I couldn't have started writing, of course. Everybody needs to explore lots and lots of books in order to come across, in order to frame a book themselves as well. So that applies for me as well. After reading for about 5 years, I started writing, and I'm standing at 7 to 8 years right now, and these 8 years has taught me a lot on how to write. So those are the moral lessons that I've learned from reading. It has also helped me to be more confident, to be more bold around people, and to speak up for myself. So there's lots and lots of benefits when it comes to reading. And of course, as you said before, reading can have a lot of intellectual, thing in your brain. It can connect with you emotionally, and it can do wonders to your health. So of course, everybody must try books, and everybody must indulge themselves in fields of writing and reading, of course.
Perfect, perfect. And to just give everyone importance, be it a blockbuster movie, be it a best-selling book, be it a video script, right? Anything which is success in this on this planet, it's because of the great script. It's because of the great writing. Like any ad,
Exactly.
there is someone who is writing that first headline of the ad. Any YouTube video, again, there is a skill of writing which is involved. There is a content writer. A blockbuster movie, there is a whole script, a raw script behind it, and after that, there are actors and people who deliver that writing, right? So I think writing is incredible, and as you said, it has also affected your public speaking, right? So do like before any public talk, do you like make a script for like for your public speech, public talk or public speech? Do you do any practice of writing before delivering any kind of public speech?
Okay, that's a quite interesting question. And all the speeches that I've been in, I've never been asked this question, but I'd always wanted to answer this. Okay. So I'm a type of person who never prepares for when it comes to speeches. I just think that, if I prepare something, yeah, preparing is of course really, really important when it comes to every speech. But I'm that kind of person who when I prepare something, I have the tendency to forget it and I slip it out. So I just had to put something random into it. So what I do is, I just like go through the content once, just glance through it, and I'm always extempo when it comes to speeches. Even right now, I haven't prepared anything, but I feel more comfortable talking on spot rather than preparing entire content beforehand. That which caused a lot of time, and if I forget it, it will be a bit embarrassing for me as well. So I'm really, really good when it comes to like on-spot speeches, and I can just elaborate it really well. I can explain it really well, and I can also make sure the content is really good. So, thank you for that question, and thank you for pointing that out, of course.
Great, great, great. And like as we are talking about this public speak, can you highlight a few points that any beginner who is trying to get onto stage or trying to get in front of the camera, what all things he should take care of, like the eye contact, the body language, the posture? Like, tell us these few things. What factors affect your overall public speech?
Right. So the first thing would of course be your content, because content is extremely important whenever it comes to public speaking. If your content is good, but your appearance, your dressing sense is bad, people will judge you on your content, because that's the most important aspect of every public speaking. So there's this like one thing that my mentor, Dr. Saranya ma'am, she's a psychologist and she's working in in the government or something. So she taught me one thing about content. So she has like given lots of speeches in lots of countries so far. She has traveled to lots of international countries and given speeches. And she's my mentor when it comes to public speaking as well. So he told me one important thing that I could never forget. So she told me that wherever you go, whichever audience you give, you can have like one singular content. There is no requirement to have new content every time, but make sure that one content is extremely inspiring to everybody. Because the world is really huge. There's lots of people around in the world, and you can just have like one content, and that content should be extremely inspiring, so that you can give that content to anybody in any place of the world. That's the first important thing. You should make your content extremely inspiring and motivating. And it doesn't matter if you give the same speech to everybody, as long as it's inspirational and as long as it's motivational as well. Second thing will, of course, be other factors like your dressing sense. Make sure you're formal and you wear a formal attire so that you look appealing to listeners. And also make sure that your eye gaze is really important, because eye gaze is a key factor. If you are not like constantly giving eye gaze, eye contact with the audience might become bored. The audience might lose attention. So it is extremely necessary that you keep looking at the different audience at all the places inside the listeners. So eye gaze is extremely important. And the final thing is body language. Body language is just additional, in order to make your content more appealing and more listened to, you can use body language to, get the listener. As you can see, I'm just, moving my hands here and there. That gets you to hear my content more than when I'm not using my hands. So of course, you can use body language to grab the attention of the listener and get them to listen to your content. So these are the key factors when it comes to public speaking, and these factors must be addressed so that you can have an effective speaking session.
Perfect, perfect. And I completely agree with you on the first point. Like you said about the content should be, inspiring and it should be value adding. So, do you feel, Sharman, that we can repeat the same examples or same stories in different speech, like different events or on different stages wherever we go? Is it okay to repeat the story as long as it is inspiring?
Right. Of course, because when it comes to anybody, let's take myself as an example. I started off writing because I started off reading because of my friends, my father's friend, and I started off writing because of my dad. So, of course, it's the same content everywhere. I can't change that story to one place or another. So, of course, your content will be the same, but you should make it such that it is more appealing to the listener, more inspiring and more motivational. Doesn't matter if we give the same content word by word to every single speech you do, as long as it's extremely inspiring and appealing to the listeners.
Right, right. And I think that's how brands are built, right? They are built onto a story. There is a story related to that, right?
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah. So Sharvan, so to anyone who is trying to build a personal brand or trying to build a brand, right? Writing is like very important. Okay. So what do you think? How can one use this single art of writing, choose a platform which is in this year which has a high organic growth, and that is LinkedIn? Writing content works well on LinkedIn. So how can one get started with this skill of writing and LinkedIn and build a personal brand? What do you think, like one should how should one start?
Okay, so LinkedIn has played an extremely a big role in my very own career, because I started off LinkedIn,
In fact,
2 years
this
back.
conversation we are having right now just because of LinkedIn,
Ex-
like just because of that one PM.
Exactly.
Yeah, please
Right.
go on. Yeah,
I was about to say it actually, because we wouldn't have met right now if it wasn't for LinkedIn.
yeah.
So I started off LinkedIn 2 years ago, and currently I have like over 4,000 followers and 200,000 impressions, of course. So, I think that LinkedIn has played an extremely essential role in my career because I was able to meet a lot of people through LinkedIn. Like right now, I was able to meet you because of LinkedIn because you approached me. The same time, I also approached lots of other individuals, etc. So I'm able to meet lots of new people, and I'm also able to get lots of opportunities like this podcast again, coming back to it. And I've also been part of lots of speech events thanks to LinkedIn, and that has been one important thing. And LinkedIn has also helped me to share my own views, my own thoughts, and my own experience as well, which in turn inspires other individuals out there to start writing as well. So that one thing is why LinkedIn is extremely important to every single person's career. To start off LinkedIn, it's quite, I mean, it's not that hard, but you have to put all your work into your content and all the people you like to follow. Starting off, it should be a bit easy, creating a profile, uh, getting your bio, etc. And then, you start writing your content. So first, you should make sure what you're going to talk about. That will be politics, that will be about poems, English, whatever which you like. Make your bio according to it so that it is appealing to every single viewer. So as you said, when you clicked on my profile, you saw that I had like a 14-year-old young author and you are
Exactly.
immediately attached to it. So, that's how bio makes a difference as well. So make sure you work on your bio. You have your key important points in it so that it is appealing for every single viewer of your page. And also make sure your profile page is appealing, make sure your face is clearly visible. And you can choose the theme, etc. And also make sure to work on your banner, etc. That could be extremely useful when it comes to a viewer. And of course, the content is of course really really important. I've said before, wherever it comes, even in public speaking and even social media, content is of course really important. And you should make sure to work on your content. Make sure to stick on to your specified title, and connect with lots of people. Make sure to attach pictures in your content so that it reaches more people. And that's how you start a brand in LinkedIn. So definitely will take time to reach a sustainable amount of followers. Like it took me like 2 years to reach 4,000 followers. But of course, you should trust the process, you should believe the process and go by it.
Right, right, right. And as you said that it's very important to put your face out. And I think that's like when people see you, they trust you. Like people will only click onto that profile only, which has a good profile picture or has a good profile title, right? If you're not keeping the profile updated, no one is going to click on to your profile, and hence you will lost like a lot of opportunities. So
Of course.
and when it comes to content, Sharman, do you think, or rather, let me ask you this question: do you follow any specific format to write a effective post? Is there any format do you follow?
Uh, Actually, the only format I use is I give a greeting at the first and I give a thank you at the end. That's it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like follow any particular content. A few people like to add quotations, quotes in between, and you
Right.
know, they make it look better. But I'm a type of person who sticks to the content really good. I want to make sure the important content is here first, and then all the sub content will be, jammed into one singular passage. So I give a lot of importance to the main content, and I also add in a few side contents as well. So I said, just the introduction, just hello everybody, and a small body passage, and then which contains all the important content, and a thank you at the end, and that's it with the pictures as well. And I
Perfect.
will also tag a few people if there's anybody in the post, and also give like hashtag so that it can reach lots of people who follow that hashtag, etc. So yeah, that's my
Perfect.
uh
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
perfect. And I think, and this is an advice to all the beginners. And tell me if I'm wrong, Sharman. To anyone who is just starting off on LinkedIn, like specifically, like 2 years straight putting content every single week, and there should be 100% value in that, and that should be like straight 2 years and no questions asked. And after that only you should complain that why my account is not growing, but you should stay disciplined for at least 2 years in content creation. I feel that personally, because nothing happens great, and there are a lot of people who are creating content like
Of
today
course.
yeah, so you need to stand out, you need to have your own voice, that authentic.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think discipline is important. uh, and so is there any kind? Is there any thing happened with you? Like you posted something, and that post give you an opportunity. Like, is there any story that you want to share with us? That
So right, uh, yeah, I've done lots of polls and I've also got lots of invitations as well. I've been invited to like different podcasts before. Before you, I've also talked with lots of podcasts before,
wow.
and I talked with like 2 to 3 podcasts as well. And this is my fourth, I think.
Okay.
And like recently, I mean, this Tuesday, 4 days ago, I addressed students from UAE. uh, it was an online session actually. It was
Perfect.
in Zoom.
Yeah.
So there's a Delhi public school in Dubai, right? So I addressed over 1,600 students in Dubai this Tuesday. That was like one thing. That was a recent thing that I'd done and that had been a great inspiration for myself and to all the students out there as well. That was a little nerve-wracking session because of all those 1,600 students, but I managed to pull something out and I managed to give a really good speech. So I'm proud of it actually.
Perfect.
So yeah, that's
Perfect.
one thing. And the various podcasts, etc. Also got lots of opportunities to meet people and
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So there's like one story I'd like to talk about. This random post where I wrote about my previous experiences. So like yeah. So I was talking about the people that I've met before. I met the former DJP of Tamil Nadu, Sharvanth Babu sir. So I wrote about the experience back again because it's been quite a while since I met him, and I wanted to make it like a repost kind of thing. So I wrote a new content and I posted it. Expected that I'll get the same amount of views and likes, but suddenly I don't know why, or I don't know. I still can't figure out why, but I ended up getting over 400 likes for that post. That has been my biggest viral post so far. That's like one funny story which I have in my LinkedIn career. I posted something, and within a few hours, the likes skyrocketed all the way to 400, and I also got really high impressions on it as well. So that's one funny story attached to LinkedIn.
Perfect, perfect. And I think that's how you get viral. Like you put content on daily basis, and like 1 out of 100 goes viral, and people say that that is viral, but actually there are 99 posts that you had just thrown out before that no one is
Exactly.
talking about, right?
Yeah, so like, there's one thing when it comes to shining out in social media platforms.
Yeah.
In order for you to stand out, you should make lots of collaborations and stuff. So because in that post, I had a picture where I was standing with Silent Babu sir, who's a really reputed person in Tamil Nadu. So because of that, people saw my content and they were inspired by it, and that's how I got so many likes. So in order for you to stand out, to reach out, you should meet lots of people and you should share your experience about it to others as well so that your content stands out to other content. So that's one important strategy when it comes to making your content stand out.
Yeah, right. Perfect, perfect. And one more thing, Sharwan, when it comes to building a personal brand, I think you should start, from day one only, you should think about how can I build credibility? How can I build that authority? How can I be, how can I, level up my own voice on social media? And I think writing books is the best way to build an authority, like what I feel. Okay, tell us how can one think about on writing books, like how what is the whole process, just break that process down, like how can one step by step start writing and eventually publishing that book and making it a good success.
Okay. So like writing books is a really, really big process. It takes me like about 1 year to publish one book because there's lots of process involved into it. The first thing is, of course, framing out a brief about your story. So, I go through a lot of ideas. I explore lots of ideas within my head, and I choose one that is that I feel good. So, I'm a type of writer who I do not frame the entire thing beforehand. A few authors, what they do is like write a short gist about it, and then they expand from it. But what I do is like I take an introductory idea, and then I start writing. As I start writing, as I go more and more, ideas just start popping onto my head, and I filter all of them together, and I make sure I just like pick one that's really really good. So I'm that type of writer. So I just start writing. I frame the title, I frame the content, and it takes me about 6 months to complete the entire thing, with all the title and all the content included. So the first 6 months goes by writing the content, and the next 6 months comes the most hard part of publishing a book, that is coordinating with the publisher themselves, because it's not that easy, because after I've completed my content, I send it over. The publisher goes through it and they make the corrections here and there. So they make corrections and mistakes here and there and they change it. And they send the content back to me. So I go to the content once again, and if I find changes, I send them back to the publisher again, who changes it and gives back to me. So this process goes back to back for about 5 to 6 times. And reading the entire content, going through it will take time, of course. So, so it takes time for both me and the publisher to, swap. So, right. So, after I've made sure there's no mistakes, after about 6 to 7 drafts, I give it for publishing. Uh, they accept it, and then they go to the printing process, where there's everything included, the ISBN, ISBN number and copyrights, etc. about that book. So all of them is put together into one, and then it's published, and that's how a book is made. So it takes about 1 year to make one singular book. So yeah, that's the story of how a book is made.
Right. And have you tried like that Amazon? That Amazon has a feature, right, of like publishing.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
for
So
free.
like,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. So my publisher does everything. So they post it directly on Amazon as well as on Flipkart,
perfect.
and they take like 90% of the royalty, and they give us 10%. That's how it works.
Okay, perfect. And Sharvan, that we have like lot of AI tools like today, like who can do content writing for us, ghost writing for us, like a lot of things. And I think it's become so easy to write a post, to write a description, to title, also ebooks and books. So do you think it's good to use or to take the help of ChatGPT or these AI tools to structure the content of book or any post, any content?
Okay. Such a common question that I've been given everywhere, and my answer is the same everywhere, because it's one thing that I would love to talk about in every speech, and which I love to, explain about in every single speech. So now the one thing that AI lacks, in the current world, the AI doesn't have the capability to write like humans, because you can say that it can write lots of big passages, it can frame lots of sentences with a good vocabulary, etc. But AI lacks one key factor which puts it out against human writing. As said before, books have the ability to, work with your psychology, work with your mental health. It helps you to connect with that book. That is because of human emotions.
Yes,
Because
it's
the
human
writer
to human
can,
connect.
exactly. So, the writer can connect with the reader with the help of emotions, but the same thing when it comes to AI, it's not possible. I don't think it will be possible in the near future as well, because humans are really, really good at it. From the times of William Shakespeare all the way right now, we have been able to connect one reader to one writer with help of emotions, and that thing AI definitely lacks. So you cannot be directly dependent on AI, because it lacks human emotions, and you can easily find out the difference between AI written content and a human written content because of the lack of emotions in it. You can definitely use AI to help you through a few places, but it should not replace your entire thing. It should not replace your entire way of writing and way of your content.
Right. And like if you do, like people can easily identify that AI language, right? It's very
Exactly.
easy to identify that. Yeah. Perfect. So Sharvan, my last question to you is like, how did you make the India Book of Records and Asia Book of Records? And before that, tell us about these records, like what these records are actually.
Okay. My first record is India Book of Records. So, of course, I got it like on 2021 for writing a book on adventures of a detective. So, I was awarded to it when I was like 11 to 12 years old, I think. Talking about my second award, the Asia Book of Records, I got it a year back, I think. I was awarded the Grandmaster title, along with the youngest to write three books on detectives. So, that's my achievement on the Asia Book of Records. We were the two main records, India Book of Records and the Asia Book of Records. And along with it, there are a few other awards as well. The first award is the Young Achiever Award from Natural Salon and Spa, of course, you would know. And then there's also another award which I got from awards known as Arivu Kadir Award, Arivu Malar Award, Arivu Pudir Award as well. I've also participated in lots of writing competitions, and I've got lots of medals, gold medals, silver medals for being the top participant on national level. Around 16,000 participants, and I got like first, second, and third places in
Wow.
lots of events so far. That's one thing. And I was also recently part of the All India Kids Premier League, where on top in like it was like 16,000 students, and only top 1.5% were chosen. So that's I went to Pune like on February, and there was a competition I participated in. So I was part of the top 1.6% and 16,000 students. That's another achievement that I have had. And all the other medals. I've also got proficiency award for topping my class in last year, and for eighth grade. And I'm also getting one this year as well. So getting the highest mark in my class. That's another award. And I'm constantly like getting more and more, and I'm working on it. These awards, they serve me as huge inspiration, and I'm constantly moving with it. So I think one day I'll be able to do more and inspire more people as well.
Perfect, perfect. Give us one message to the people who are out there, who are trying to think about their first India Book of Records or first Guinness World Record. Just give us that one message, that what should be that mindset or that belief system.
Yeah, I give this message to every single speech. So, everybody has a potential. I didn't know that I had a potential towards reading and writing until somebody gave me a book and I picked it up. So, potential isn't something that it's not something that you can work on. It's something that you can get only by an accident. So, everybody has some kind of potential, and keep working on it, keep exploring lots of fields, and one day you will find your own potential. I found it when I was really young, but I do think that no matter the age is as a number. No matter the age, you can work on it, you can still explore lots of aspects, and eventually you will find that one potential of yours which you can work on and become successful as well. So it is just it doesn't come. I mean, it's like for my very own journey, it was an accident because I didn't know I had the skill towards reading and writing. The same way you will find it in an accident as well. So of course, keep looking for it, and one day, of course, you will find it and shine in your life.
Perfect, perfect. That was incredible and lovely conversation. And I just want to congratulate you for everything that you have did so far, and many more
Thank
awards
you
to
so
come.
much.
Right.
Right.
Okay, okay. And thank you so much for, so thank you so much again for, taking out your time from your, activities and being here. So it was
Of
lovely
course.
talking and meeting you. Okay.
The pleasure is mine, actually. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. And, I hope we keep in touch and, we do more and more as we go on. So, right.
Perfect. Great, great.